All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to find the owner's contact information. The first thing that we are going to do, we are going to open a tab in our internet browser. We are going to go to google.com. That is my preferred browser. You may prefer Internet Explorer or some other browser. But for my purposes, I love Google. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to go to the search box and we're going to type in Cook County Assessor. This is the Cook County Assessor's website, and for the purpose of this video, we're going to be finding the owners of properties that own property within Cook County. We're going to go down to property search and click on property search. Once we have that screen up, of course we're going to bookmark it. I already have it bookmarked. We're going to go to property search. Okay, we're going to scroll down to search by address. We are going to type in the address of the subject property. The example property we're going to use is 3821 West Monroe. Chicago, and we're going to click the search by address button. At this site, what we are looking for, we want to verify that this is actually the property that we want, our subject property. We're going to copy the property index number, the PIN number. Copy it. And then we are going to paste it in our little search box up here so that we have it. And then the very next site we're going to use, we're going to go right back to Google. We're going to type in Cook County Treasurer. The treasurer's website is the site we can use to determine who owns the property. So we're going to click on payment status. And we're going to bookmark this page. We're going to go down here. We're going to type in our PIN number. Do the little captcha code and click search. Now we can click on 2012 tax year, payable 2013, and this page gives us the address of the owner. So the owner's name is here, his address, his mailing address is here, and this is the way we find the owner's address. But one thing about the Cook County Treasurer's website is that sometimes they are notoriously slow at updating the information. So the actual owner, this may have at one time been the owner's address, but they have moved. So what we would like to do is we go to another website, which is the Cook County Recorder of Deeds. And we're going to scroll down to the official site, which is www.ccrd.info/. We're going to hit search records. Click here to access 2020 Perfect Vision. We are going to type in our property index number 1614 103 015, and hit enter. And here we are. We see that what we look for when we're trying to verify ownership, who currently owns the property, because a lot of times property can change hands. The property could be foreclosed. The previous owner could quit claim the property to someone else, and they never update the tax info. So what we want to do is identify the most recent deed, the most recent conveyance of title. And title is usually conveyed with some type of deed. In this particular case, it's a warranty deed. So we see that the title was transferred by warranty deed from Thelma Fester to James Dender, who is the current owner. We already have his contact information from the Treasurer's website. If you want to take a look at the document itself, you can click on the deed. And you can enlarge it, and you can view the actual deed that transferred ownership from Miss Fester to James Dender, and this is his mailing address. Now, sometimes what you'll find is that a property, it may not be so simple. A property may have went to foreclosure. So I have another PIN number that we're going to use, and this particular property is a foreclosure, and I'm going to show you how to identify whether or not the property is bank owned. Okay, here we have a property that was jointly owned by Kenneth Rosenbrock and Pamela Rosenbrock. You can see here in December 11th, 2009, the property faced lis pendens, which means notice of suit pending foreclosure. So the property went into foreclosure with Kenneth Rosenbrock, and then it went into foreclosure again, which is kind of odd, with Pamela Rosenbrock, who is probably his wife. I'm just assuming. So the property went into foreclosure. They lost the property to the bank. Here you see the mortgage was assigned to City Mortgage Inc. It went to court in 2012, and Judicial Sales Corp, the judge, ruled in favor of the bank and transferred the deed. Remember, we always want to look for the deed. We want to follow the deed. The courts transferred the deed to the bank. So this is how you tell if the property was foreclosed on, who actually owns the property. You always want to look for the most recent deed, and the most recent deed is November 8th, 2012, and that deed went to Federal National Mortgage Assignment, which is probably Fannie Mae. It is a bank-owned property. Just remember that. Look for the deed, and you want to look for the most recent date. One other thing is that sometimes even these records are not up to date. And in that situation, when the records are not up to date and you just can't find who the actual owner is, because one, the property may be vacant and you know that no one is living there, and the owner's mailing address is the same as the vacant property. What you want to go do is go to Entellus, and Entellus gives you the ability to skip trace for a small fee. And what you can do is do a people search. So you would type in that person's name, first and last name, state and zip code. And one thing that you can do with Entellus is that it not only gives you that person, but it also gives you their closest to kin, their relatives. So I've, many times found the owner of a property through a relative. They conveyed the message. And the good thing about Entellus is it's not that expensive. but they also offer a free trial. I believe they give you 7 days for $1. So you can actually do a whole lot of searching for 6 days and cancel that subscription on the 7th. So that's about all for this particular training. You now know how to find someone, the owner of a property in Cook County. If you are searching for properties in other counties, we are also looking in Will and DuPage County. If you are in those counties, the process is very similar. You do the same searches that you saw in this training, except instead of doing Cook County Assessor, you would do DuPage County Assessor. Instead of Cook County Treasurer, you would do DuPage County Treasurer. Instead of Cook County Recorder of Deeds, you would search DuPage Recorder of Deeds. And that sums it up. Happy hunting.